Mr. Lawson, before we move on, I think we would like to answer some of the comments.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Who you start? You want me to start? Should I start? Please.
Question was asked about the insurance proceeds. That is still pending. The insurance company has not come forward with them yet. There's litigation starting. It is fee shifting, so when we win the litigation, they will also pay our fees. We have been offered sizable monies, but not enough to make a decision at this point on yet, or make a settlement yet. It's still pending, and the board will certainly receive proceeds from this. Question was asked about tenure for secretaries. I understand your frustrations, however, that's the law. By law, secretaries in school systems get tenure. And when they get tenure, it is seniority and life owned, which is last in, first out. And they have tenure protection under the laws of the state of New Jersey. Why, I don't know, but that was granted to them many years ago. The question was asked about the superintendent selection. I want you to know that the two members who have spouses employed or in the district, they are allowed by the ethics committee that they're allowed to vote on the first contract of the superintendent, to be part of the selection and vote on the first contract, including salary, provided there's no internal candidate. If there's an internal candidate, then they cannot make any decisions on that until either the internal candidate is selected or not selected and taken out of the process. But on any external candidate, they can vote, they can make the selection, and they can do their duties as a board member. Mr. Sage, I understand you don't like it, okay, and we're fine with that. But you misstate the facts, you twist the facts, and the last time I checked, you've not graduated in law school that I know of. So what you have said is not correct. Number one, the state of New Jersey said way back when that Mr. Wasser did not violate any law that they know of and did not with any intent attempt to defraud the board. That's what I said, or the district, and that's what I said, that's what I maintain. And when the New Jersey Department of Higher Education maintained that he was not entitled to use the phrase doctor, he dropped that term doctor. I didn't have any more advice than that, and I said, and I told the people that what Mr. Wasser had done did not raise the level of bringing tenure charges against him. Now, I remember a meeting when people got up and said, we want to bring tenure charges, and we're going to go to our attorneys and get tenure charges. Guess what? They never came back because there were no tenure charges to be filed. That's number one. Number two is contract. I still maintain that what this board did was correct. This board did not want to engage the executive county superintendent and decided not to. That's their prerogative. I still maintain our advice was correct. Rosenwald, you brought that up. This board did not start, this firm did not start any ethics action against Mrs. Rosenwald. Certain board members did. Mrs. Rosenwald then countered with her own ethics charges. That matter was concluded as fast as possible. Now, the piece de resistance is your Flynn matter. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know where you're getting it from. This Board of Education was given proper advice. Mr. Flynn was charged with heinous crimes. This board decided that why should we pay him when he was charged with these crimes? They knew what the law was, but this board decided they wanted to test that law. And that's why the matter went before a court. And this matter cost the board very little money. I think the figure is $10,000 to try and prove they were right. Had the board filed tenure charges like you thought we should have against Mr. Flynn, it would have cost the board probably somewhere around $100,000. So you see, by letting it go the way it went, this board saved $90,000. So once again, sir, you're just not right. Thank you.
If I may, Mr. President, I'd like to add to this.
Please.
I learned something from Mr. Sage with Oprah requests, that she's an expert at it, so I decided to Oprah the records from the Commission on Higher Education. I've never said this before because I felt the matter was over, but some people just want to belabor this for over 2 years. And as the lawyer said, there were no charges, there was no fraud, there was no deceit. Everything was done in the open with the board members at the time, and everyone was well aware of the online degree, which you call phony degree. I wrote to the Commission on Higher Ed, to their public information person, and I asked them for their records. and I want to know specifically that can you please forward me the minutes of the Commission on Higher Education and how they voted on the doctoral degree to remove it. And I would appreciate the names of the Commission members and how they voted. Thank you for your cooperation. And I received the correspondence back from the Commission on Higher Ed and the public information person, and it said that in March 13, 2009, Dear Mr. Wasser, there are no Commission meeting minutes which included any vote to remove your doctorate degree. All they said was neither the Commission nor its staff removed your doctorate degree. They just asked for cooperation in not using the title because the accrediting agency was not approved by the U.S. Department of Ed. There was an accrediting agency that approved Prior State. There were several. They just had not been approved by the U.S. Department of Ed, which in New Jersey is a violation of the code. You can't use the degree. As soon as that was told to us, we relinquished it, myself as well as the other members. And yet, it's belabored in here to make people seem like they committed a crime. I know, Mr. Sage, that you are a former Port Authority police officer, but as you know, no one did a crime. This is a personal matter between you and me. I will not self-disclose it out of respect for you and not embarrassing you in public as you've done to me over the past, as well as what you've done to me and my family outside of this room. However, it is a personal issue. It is a personal issue between you and I. We both know what it's about. And if I have anything to do with it in the future that's coming, the same decision will be made if I have anything to do with it. So get your facts straight, sir.
I have a couple comments to people who have had a chance to talk before. For Ms. Close, some of the number of the districts you named to play are very wealthy districts, particularly Chatham. You know, they could pay, one family could probably pay for the sports. No, I didn't interrupt you when you spoke. Please do not interrupt me when I'm speaking. Okay, next. There are a lot of kids in this district who cannot afford, not only can't afford to pay to play sports, but they can't afford lunch. And so we have, you know, lunch programs. These kids are pretty proud kids, and I would hate to see some of these kids deprived of playing sports. Next, I think Mr. Sage made a comment about the public. The people who ran unopposed. That's not the board's problem. That's the public. Excuse me.
That wasn't me. I didn't bring it up.
Okay. Whoever brought it up, that's not the board's problem. That's the public's problem. If they didn't put up anybody to run against these people, and they're so disappointed with them, that's their apathy. These people up here don't get paid for this job. Next, I certainly don't have a law degree, but I know that there are 3 exceptions to freedom of speech. And those are slander, libel, and clear and present danger. And some of the blogs that I have read, they border on the violation of freedom of speech. So I just wanted to say that. And then last but not least, there was a blog that was put out that I was protecting a custodian, or actually a grounds person. And I want to answer this. This person was given a notice that he is not going to be rehired. And this person, for attendance reasons, and this person was injured on the job 8 years ago. And because of that, has physical problems. And I didn't think it was right what was being done to him. Just like a number of other custodians and grounds people that were on that list that were not told about their attendance prior to what happened. I want to go on record, since we're talking about transparency, that I have asked that we should revisit a number of these cases, case by case, so these people get a fair shake about what has happened. I noticed we had a gentleman I didn't know came up and spoke before about somebody being rehired back before him. I wasn't aware of the names of the people that were let go until I got them today. And I believe that possibly an injustice was done to some of these people, and I would like it revisited. And I told the board that earlier. And that's the end of my comments.